Well, I got started and the PowerPoint closed on me. Give me 1 second. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. It's good to be back together. And as we begin, here we go. And Wanda is joining us. Wanda Collins is joining us on Zoom. Wanda, it's good to see you and have you joining us with us. There we go. Jonathan, come and lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together today in the spirit of service and fellowship. Bless the work of this Rotary Club in the hands that serve our community and the world. Grant us wisdom in our decisions, integrity in our actions, and compassion for those we are called to help. May everything we do reflect service above self. Amen.
Amen. Let's now join together in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Sing along time. Tony, are you ready to lead us?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, today we're real fortunate. We have flown in a piano player all the way from High Point. So we are honored to have Joseph here playing today. So sing out on this. I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover for the month of March.
I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover. I'm over the fall. One leaf is sunshine, the second is rain. Third is a roses that grow in the rain. No need explaining, the one remaining is somebody I adore. I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover that I overlooked before.
All right. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, Sergeant at Arms Joseph, do we have any visiting Rotarians with us today?
Mr. President, we're happy to have Richard Makita with us.
Welcome, Richard. How about any guests? Do we have any other guests with us joining today? Wait.
I don't know, let me hear you here today.
Mary, it's always good to have you join us. Any other guests? Okay. Well, we'll move right into announcements. Does anyone have an announcement for the good of Rotary?
I will mention that you guys heard Toby Prince announce last week that Davidson Home Solutions has their golf tournament coming up, and they also have the ball drop. So not every table has both flyers, but I have some. If you're interested in one or the other, the date is April 30th. So if you need additional information, I can get extra copies to you.
Since Doc's not here, I guess somebody has to do it. Just want to remind everyone, Memorial has pine needles on sale right now. $6 you can pick them up, $6.50 we'll deliver it for you, and we'll take them just about anywhere. So let us know if you need something.
That's awesome. I think that's where Doc is right now, right?
That's where he is.
And Donna. That's great. Yes.
I just wanted to pass along from Amanda from our event last week. They did not break the record, but There were 19,739 people that were trained that day. She said, as far as we know, that makes the most people ever trained in CPR in a single day in the United States. And it was the largest coordinated CPR training effort across multiple states anywhere in the world. And she said to please be sure and tell you all thank you for participating. And she did not get any pictures, but if any of you were taking pictures, if you could send those to me so that I can pass them along to her.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Thank you all for participating in that last week. I hope if you're with us, I mean, and I said this, and it's true, I learned something valuable and took away some great, instructions on what to do in case of an emergency, and I hope that you're all able to say the same. That was a great program. So extend our thanks to her again for coming and leading us in that. And thank you for all for participating in that. Any other, and actually, would you share on our monthly microphone?
Okay, so as we talked about, we are going to be doing Easter baskets for our meals. We're going to be doing Easter baskets for our Meals on Wheels folks in Thomasville. There are 65 that we have in your bulletin. Those of you, please take the time to read them. Sam puts a lot of time into the bulletin. So in the bulletin, it will tell you about what our baskets are. This is a little bit of like a sample of what we're looking for. Instead of doing an actual Easter basket, right, that everybody may not be able to use, we want to provide them with something that they can repurpose, right, and put things in it. So this is an example of what we're going to put into the basket. David has given us pins from Edward Jones to put into the baskets. If your company has something that you would like to donate that could be used in the basket, then be sure and let me know. One of the things that we want to make sure, and point out, we are giving them the word searches. So everything that's in the little basket Kim has put into the bulletin, so take a look at that. I don't need to read that for y'all. If you would like to sponsor a basket, what we thought we would do is we will just collect the money and then we'll purchase everything. And then on April the 1st for our club assembly, we are actually, as Rotarians, going to be assembling the baskets that day with all of the items. And then we will give those to Sherry that will take them, and then that week they will be delivered. So they will be delivered to the members before Easter. So just let me know, did we have what was going to be the best way for collecting the money? If you just want to bring it in each week, you can give it to me. We'll be fine. Yeah, give it to me or give it to Hope. But again, if you would like to sponsor a basket, basically it's about $15 to $18 per basket. And if you would like to sponsor one or more, then we would greatly appreciate that. Any questions?
How many do we need?
65 baskets is what we are going to be putting together.
Is that the total number of members on Meals on Wheels in Thomasville?
Sherry?
It is,
Yes. Yes.
within city limits.
Within the city limits. There is way more if you encompass all of Davidson County, correct?
Right, Davidson County has 350.
350 in all of Davidson County. So hopefully at some point we can bring in Lexington with us to do that. If this is something that goes over well and the club enjoys doing it, then maybe it's something that we can look at doing as an annual event.
Awesome. Thank y'all for putting this together, and Sherry for bringing this idea to our attention. I think it's going to be a great way to serve our folks here in our city, and a fun way too. I think that'll be very meaningful for folks when they receive that. So, and we've reached out to Lexington to extend. I haven't got the reply yet, but extend an invite to help us with this project. And so that's something that we're trying to pull our friends from Lexington Rotary into some of the projects that we're doing here as well. So, thank y'all for leading the way on this. It's going to be a great one for this month.
Can I say there's
Yes.
the 100 in Lexington that receive Meals on Wheels are right around there. It fluctuates a little bit. 60 in Thomasville and 350 in Davidson County surrounding. So, but that's why I said at Christmas, when we get all the Christmas back, there were a total of 510 seniors who got Christmas bags.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great. Okay, any other announcements for the good of Rotary? Okay, well, today we start over fresh. Split the pot. Candace, are you leading us in that? What do we have today on this fresh pot? I hope Corey brought a bunch of tickets.
Corey was happy. Corey was happy to buy some tickets. So the rest of you, we gotta get it back in order. We collected $68. So the take home will be $34.
I don't have my glasses
He
on.
didn't have his glass. All right, I'll read it. The last three, 0 to 8. I wasn't here.
Let's see here, I'm sure I will. 8 of clubs.
Okay, well, it is another day. It's hard to get quite as excited about it right now as it was last week. That was a big, what was it again? What was it? What did we make it to last week?
I can't remember, I had seen the check.
It was over 5,000.
I make the motion that we put that money on Corey's account as a credit.
There we go.
We have a second.
He hadn't gotten a check, but he's actually already spent it. I mean, he
I like that.
vacation plans, all that. So, awesome. Well, we do have one other thing that we want to talk about today before we go into our program. Hope, would you come and share with us?
I can do it from here.
Yeah, I'll bring the mic.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
Come on. They need to hear you.
All right. Okay, so coming up, first Saturday in May is our Kentucky Derby fundraiser. As you guys know, this is our biggest fundraiser of the year that is not designated specifically to go to certain charities. In other words, this is the fundraiser that gives us all the money to support organizations like Baptist Children's Home, Communities in Schools, CCM, Fairgrove Family Resource Center, Father's Storehouse, Habitat, Hospice, Revealing, Salvation Army, Thomasville Medical Center Foundation, Police Department, Parks and Rec, Tourism, the YMCA, United Way, and any requests that we get throughout the year for charitable contributions or to support projects within Thomasville. So having said that, there are plenty of opportunities for all Rotarians to participate in some way in the Kentucky Derby. The easiest thing to do is a sponsorship or support in some way. This year, we pretty much, for Rotarians, we're asking for a few different things. If you just want to do money, you can do like $100 sponsorship, and that's traditionally what we've requested from Rotarians in years past. We plan to do a bourbon pull this year. So it's a blind bourbon draw, so we would sell tickets probably for about $50 a piece. Everybody gets a chance to pull, a bottle of bourbon. We're requesting that board members and Rotarians consider going and purchasing a bottle of bourbon, $40 or more, and bringing that to Rotary so that we can include that on the draw. We will obtain or have donated some more expensive bottles of bourbon so that when people do the bourbon pull, they will have an opportunity to get something worth more than just $50. There will be several opportunities for that. So the other thing that you could consider giving is a prize. We will have several prize baskets for things like the hat contest. I think they're going to include something for, the folks who are best dressed this year, male and female. And then we also have prize baskets for different tiers of winning on the betting, tickets that we do. The grand prize winner on the betting for the Derby itself, the Derby winner is a split the pot. But for the second and third prize, we do gift baskets. So gift basket items can be like a $25, card to a favorite restaurant, or, a gas gift card, or any type of nice little item that can be added to a basket. So we've got the bourbon, we've got the items to add to a prize basket. Also, Heather is hard at work pulling together the auction items. We do a silent auction and a few live auction items for this event. So if you've got a new item that you would like to donate for the auction, then Heather Lewis will be the person you see about that. So that is a huge part of our fundraising each year. The sponsorships and the auction make up the biggest financial pieces to the fundraising. And I think that's pretty much it. Kim, is there anything else that I missed? So that's Kyle's. You can bring it here. Yes, I'll have some paperwork. You can mail checks. You literally just put a memo on there if it's what it's for. If it's the bourbon, see me. So we'll store that at our office, and we do store all the auction items at our office up until the event takes place. That's kind of at the baseline for Rotary supporters. We do have lots of sponsorship opportunities available. Starting at the $250 mark as a sponsorship, you would get one event ticket included with that. That's going to include your, how we have the, PowerPoints. We'll have a scrolling PowerPoint or a scrolling video that night with all the sponsors listed on it. So your name would be there. And on the sponsor boards or sponsor banners that, are at the entrances, pretty much every level of sponsorship, starting with the 250, will include your name or your company name on those two things. Once you go up to a $500 sponsorship, you get additional recognition on the website and sponsorship materials, and you would go up to 2 event tickets at that point. We also have sponsorship levels at the $1,000 mark and the $1,500 mark. I want to say thank you to Tony Hyde and Strategic Advisory Partners. They have already snagged the premier sponsorship, so thank you, Tony, for doing that. And then also Apex Chiropractic, Tony Gazzini has already snagged one of the $1,500 sponsorships. So we've sold 2 of our biggest sponsorships already. But the number of tickets you get to the event and the amount of recognition that you get increases with the increased level of those sponsorships. And for those businesses who really desire a little bit of advertising along with being recognized as a sponsor, we do have some unique things that include some additional advertising. Some of those have been taken up already, but the 360 photo or video that we do will have the sponsor's name listed on that. Those are things that get shared on social media and that you get to keep on your phone. The same thing with the photo stick. A sponsor's name appears on that and appears on that forever. As long as people are sharing those photos and those videos. There's also, a chance to do like champagne bottles on each of the table with a business name on it, and a few other things. So in the coming weeks, we'll put materials on your table, share them, with people that you think might be interested. 100% of the proceeds from this event always goes to our community and those organizations that Rotary supports. So we try to kind of go big on this one so that we're not having so many events throughout the year. So all of your support is greatly appreciated.
And the team has already been working so hard for months on this event. This is, it's our biggest fundraiser as Thomasville Rotary Club.
Yeah, you know what? I'll mention, last year was the most we have ever raised. we raised just over $20,000 last year and with this event, so it is. I mean, it was the biggest one we'd ever had, and it's definitely, we're hoping to top that mark this year.
Yeah. So, just to echo, we encourage you, jump in if you're able, to do a sponsorship. That's the big thing that helps make this so big, and as Hope mentioned, every bit of money that comes into this gets turned right around and poured right back into our community, every penny. And Rotary is pretty faithful about sponsoring so many things in our community, and even for many of our organizations, Rotary is sponsoring our events. So this is one of those where it's great to turn around and support this with the Rotary so that we can see that money go right back out to the community. So more info to come, but put it on your calendars. Let's get excited about this. It's going to be great. Eager today to have our dear friend Wayne Underwood with us to share today's program. Wayne, would you come and lead us?
All right, well, it's great to be here today. I apologize for wearing a cover. I have a fairly substantial chunk cut out of the back of my head, so now I look as bad going as I do coming. So I thought I'd spare you that. And I was watching the online last week when y'all were doing the CPR thing. And when I was taught CPR, they told us they said use 2 songs to get the rhythm right. Did they use any music when y'all were doing this?
No.
All right, well, there's 2 songs. You know, one of them is by the Bee Gees, Staying Alive. The other one is by Queen. Another one, Bites the Dust. And it's better that you don't sing them as you're doing CPR. And a question that came up as I got to town today, when we moved down there to Apex, Wake Forest, then I found Niece's sausage at the local grocery store. Now all of a sudden it's gone. So I thought, well, while I'm in town, I'll bring a cooler and I'll get some. So I went to Ingles, zip. Went in Food Line, nothing. And I asked the guy in Food Line, I said, what's going on? He said, I have no idea. He said, we've had none in 3 weeks. He said, I think the grandkids or the kids are now running the place and they're probably going to sell it and shut it down or something. He said, I don't know. They just, maybe the guy that did the program is still talking somewhere. I don't know. He wouldn't shut up. I finally found some down at Cedar Lodge, so I've got a cooler full of this sausage now. Kim asked me to do a program today about the Paul Harris Fellows. And so I thought I'd start off, and I'm going to ask you some questions. If you've been a Rotarian for 30 plus years, don't answer. I'd rather somebody that has not been a Rotarian as long answer the questions. So, this is what a Paul Harris Fellow pin looks like. Would someone in the club tell us what's our club deal with Paul Harris Fellows? We make everybody a Paul Harris Fellow that's been here for a while. What's a while? 6 months, a year?
Actually, I will say it's almost immediate. We have no set pattern, but normally once we see that they're going to attend on a regular basis, the club, Dave Williams pulls together points from the club and we make them an honorary Paul Harris Fellow. Yeah. I haven't been in 30 years yet. Almost. All right.
Well, we'll talk about the dollars and points here in just a few minutes, because I think we're planning an event where, we can honor people with being a Paul Harris Fellow. So, who's that? Who is Paul Harris? Y'all can mumble a little bit louder if you want to. Paul Harris was the founder of Rotary, and he's the person that this recognition is named after. And I really struggled with what kind of word to use. I looked online trying to find some information from different directions about what it means to be a Paul Harris Fellow. And so, is it a recognition? Is it an award? Is it an honor? Is it something you just buy? And essentially, you can look at it from different directions. You give $1,000 and you become a Paul Harris Fellow. So you could say, you know, I bought this award for myself, right? But I think, you know, if you look beyond that, even if that was what you did, if you look beyond that, then what did that $1,000 do? So, you know, that's kind of where we want to go, I think. The money that we designate, you know, as toward the Paul Harris Fellow goes to the foundation. And so, you know, the foundation is what? What's the Rotary Foundation?
It's a charitable organization.
Which does what? Charitable stuff?
Throughout the world.
Okay. All right. And does all the money go away from here? How does this all work?
Some of it does.
Some of it comes back to us. And then we use some of that money that comes back to us for some of our local projects. So it's not like, you know, you're giving money to a foundation and you never actually see where it goes. You know, it actually, some of it does come back here, but some of it goes internationally. And that's, I think, one of the neat things I've always, or to me, it's always been a neat thing about Rotary, is you can take a small amount of money, you know, $100 a year, and actually translate it into something that has an international impact. These are some of the areas of focus, and I don't know if I'm not going to read it on here, and it's probably too blurry to read there. Who wants to spit out the areas of focus for us? Who knows them? Tell me one of them.
Environment.
Environment.
Basic education and literacy.
Okay.
Peace.
All right. We're not halfway there yet.
Maternal and child health.
Okay.
Water.
Yeah. I mean, these are things, you know, that impact people's lives all around the globe. And so, you know, for $100 a year, some of that money is coming back to our club, but some of it is going out and impacting people's lives that you'll never see and never know, probably. But Rotary is touching them, and indirectly or directly, if you look at it that way, you are touching them as well. So what does it mean to be a Paul Harris Fellow? It's a question. I'm not going to answer it. Right. I hope I'm not.
It means you're part of something bigger than just an individual. You're part of Rotary, and you're being a Paul Harris Fellow to me is that is something that you should be proud of, that it should be an honorable thing to be a Paul Harris Fellow, in my opinion.
And how long have you been on Rotary?
17 years. I didn't
Oh, so you're under the level where you can answer this question.
I'm trying to think of tomorrow, but she's hard to hear.
So what is a fellow? What's that mean, to be a fellow in something?
You're a member, part of the organization.
Yeah, the website that I looked at, actually, it was from Australia. And it says to be a member of a group having common characteristics. And that's, to me, that's way too vague. I mean, you know, that could be, you could be a Boy Scout and consider yourself a Boy Scout fellow, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that actually tells us a lot about what it means to be a Paul Harris Fellow. How do you become a Paul Harris Fellow? I already said it in ways, but does anyone want to repeat?
Well, you can have it given in your honor for you to be a member.
Yeah, basically it's $1,000. It's $1,000 or 1,000 points. And we, every time you make a donation of $100, you're credited also with 100 points. Is that correct, Kim? So it's a 1 point per dollar of what you donate. And so that means if you gave $100 a year for 10 years, you have 1,000 points, and you could actually designate someone else to be a Paul Harris Fellow. Am I wrong in thinking that it's different for you to have bought your Paul Harris Fellow as opposed to making someone a Paul Harris Fellow? How is that different?
Well, I think it's like Kim said, it's more of an honor. You're honoring somebody with this because it is a really important thing to be a part of.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that was odd in this web thing that I read, and this was from a club in Australia, it said in Australia people wear their personal giving pin. Instead of a Paul Harris Fellow pin, they wear a pin that actually shows how much they've been giving. And it's kind of that way if you understand all the little jewels and all that stuff on the Paul Harris thing. So, you know, in a way, it's recognizing that you gave this money. But if you make someone a Paul Harris Fellow, then that's a little different. In my mind, that's different. It means that, you know, you respect this person, they share your values, they are contributing in the community, they are a person of value and good ethics, and, you know, it's the kind of person that you want to publicly honor. And so I think, you know, that's kind of where we're going with this. I don't want to pass that, I'll just go here into Jason's slides. What we're wanting to do, I think, and on each table there are some slips where you can designate someone that you would like to make a Paul Harris Fellow. What you'll need to do first is find out one of two things. Have I made a $1,000 donation? If you have, then you have 1,000 points and you can do that. If you need to know how many points you have, Kim has that and she can let you know. And that way, you know, you can actually designate someone to be a Paul Harris Fellow. I think that's a program we're going to have at some point in the road where we actually bring in people that we want to publicly honor as and make them Paul Harris Fellows without points or without dollars. And you can do it either way. You know, if you joined Rotary last week and you have no points, bring a $1,000 check and you can do it. So it's that easy.
Or talk to your neighbor at your table and see if they have points they want to share with you.
Yeah, because I think, you know, we have a lot of points stored up in the club. Is that right, Kim?
Ken? That's right.
Okay, I think we have a lot of points stored up in the club members. Is that correct?
We do, and anyone that's a Paul Harris Society member, remember they get 1,000 points a year because we give $1,000 a year. So Wayne has points, Keith Hogan has points. He said he would share. David, you got some points. Hope's got points. I got points. Deb Santin's got points. Doug Hunt's got points. Duncan. So there's people that's got the points, but they have to be willing to share their points. I mean, you know, which I've talked to most of those, and they said they would. They just raising their hands. So there's points to share. But I know we did this, and this isn't part of the speech we're supposed to give, but we did this in 2018 and 19, and I was able to give my mom and my sister, and it meant a lot to me to be able to honor them. Deb, I know you did George. He passed away yesterday. But it meant a lot to be able to do that for someone that you love and or care about, or, you know, I mean, that you think is really good in the community. And like Keith did Cynthia, he got up there and said a few words about Cynthia and called her up there and pinned her. And it was very emotional for me to see everybody else do it as well as me do it for themselves. So it's a really big honor. It's not a light thing. It's not just, oh, I know so-and-so down the street. We're not going to get points for that, folks. I'm just telling you. I mean, but your spouse, your grown children, I mean, somebody that you work with that you really think deserves, that you're proud to honor them with that award. To me, that's what being a Paul Harris Fellow is. And I know I'm a Miss Rotary person, but it's an honor. I mean, it's not just a light thing, it's a big honor to do. Anyway, I'll get off of that.
No, I appreciate that. And, you know, I think, you know, for me, this was a thought process because it kind of changed my thinking about the Paul Harris Fellow. From being something that, you know, I just bought it, and, you know, they gave me a pen, they gave me a little certificate thing, and I thought, well, yeah, that's really nice. You know, I keep on giving, I'll get another pen, another certificate. And the money's going to great things, but I didn't really consider it to be a huge honor for me because I did it to myself. But, you know, reading this, it says, the recognition bestowed in this way, meaning honoring someone else, is considered an honor and a testament to the recipient. And so I think, you know, when we do this, you know, let's look at it in that mode, where, you know, we're looking at it as this is something where we're going to bring someone to the club and honor them because of who they are, what they mean to us, and what they mean to the community. So, you know, that's really all I've got. I think it would be a short program here. If anybody has any questions, Kim will be glad to answer them.
Wayne, I think that you can check your points on DAC TV, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably. I couldn't find it.
Anybody going on DAC TV, but I also have a list.
Kim has a
For those that don't like DAC TV.
you know, I want to tell you all, I miss being here. You know, I try to watch as many meetings as I can on the line. I can't make them every week, but, you know, I miss Thomasville, which I never thought I'd say in my life. But, you know, being around our community. But I do, you know, Edith and I both have missed being here and missed being around people that we know and love. And so, you know, I appreciate y'all.
There's a big
I'm glad they put this up here. This is the only time this week anyone's looked up to me.
That can't be. Thank you, Wayne, and we've certainly missed you around these parts, but thank you for continuing to serve here and tune in each week. And he's right, I mean, I see Wayne most weeks before we start the meeting, leaning down and saying, you know, good morning, Wayne. But he's faithful to still attend from afar. So thank you for sharing. And certainly, this is something that we are excited to be doing as a club. As he mentioned, there are points that we've kind of accrued that are just sitting there. We don't want those just to go dormant and just do nothing with them. And we think that honoring folks around us, especially if this is someone who you see displays the character of a Rotarian. I think that's a great way to honor it in that way. Wait, were you going to share one other thing?
Yeah, and I meant to say this up front, and I meant to do it the very first thing, but I've been kind of scattered in my mind here the past few months between health issues, which seem to be okay now. Thank you for that. But my younger son, he's in the Air Force Reserve, and he and I were riding to Greensboro about 3 weeks ago, and he gets a text on his phone saying, stand by. And then he gets another, he said, you may as well turn around. And so he gets another text like 15 minutes later, come to the base. And so now he's been over yonder for about 3 weeks. And so I'd ask for your prayers, not just for him, but for everyone that's there. You know, the ones that were recently killed, they were in a support position, which should be fairly safe, but it wasn't. And so, you know, it's a dangerous time, and we have people that are in harm's way. And so, there it is.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, worthy of our prayers, for sure. Thank you for challenging us in that and offering that encouragement as well. But moving forward with in the coming weeks, we would like to, you know, those cards are on your table. Fill those out. I mean, you can take it with you. You don't have to turn it in today. It's maybe something you just need to think on for a little bit to think of the right person. But bring those back, and we'll look together at those. Our board will kind of go through those. And Kim?
Yep. Bring them back next week, or email me the information that you want to do it. I need the information that's the name, address, and email, because when you put them in,
It does take a few weeks to get.
We got to get that stuff back, and then what we'd like to do is sometime maybe in April, have a Paul Harris Day and invite them to come, and we'll present it to them like we did in 2018. So.
Awesome.
So, but we have to have them there and then get it back in time.
Yeah,
It takes a couple, 3 weeks.
It takes about 3 weeks or so to get those, once we've applied for them. And like she said, we are looking to, in April, do a program where we bring all those folks in and just celebrate them and present them in person. So, yeah, bring it back next week. Take a little time over the next week and try to consider folks that you think would be worthy of honoring in that way. And, yeah, bring us back. We'll be excited to do that program. That's all we have today. Again, just encourage you, be putting the calendar on your calendar for the Kentucky Derby, as we're making our way towards that. Huge event for us, and a great way for us to raise funds to support the community. If you feel inspired or led to donate or sponsor for that, see hope. We'd love to get you pulled into that event in a great way. Our club is such a generous club. I've seen that firsthand. You all are so generous and continue to support in so many ways. And I know that is even outside of this club. I just see it so often in our club. And as I tell stories at other clubs, it becomes more and more revealing to me just how special and generous our club is. So I want to commend you on that. But yeah, consider that. Our derby is a huge fundraiser for us as well. That's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us. And will you stand with me as we walk away today? And as you go out back to your place of work, back to your home, wherever the day may take you today, as we split up and we go different ways, let us have eyes to see and ears to hear the needs in this community and a heart ready to serve, and in all the things that we think, say, or do first. Is the truth.